is Vivica from the Nourished Caveman and the Healing Foods Method. And thank you for being here today with me. For those of you who don't know me, I am a ketogenic nutritionist specializing in female hormones and general hormone rebalancing, thyroid, adrenals, and female hormones. And very much on the theme of my specialties today, we are going to talk about menopause. Now, I am almost tired to talking about menopause, but first is the theme of January. So all my posts and everything, my Instagram posts, my Facebook posts, they're all about bringing you information on the theme of menopause. And second, I also have been neck deep, nose deep, here deep in menopause myself, yippee. So that's why we have been talking about it a little bit more. It's been very present, and also with a lot of my clients, a lot of my patients, they're dealing with menopause issues. So because it comes up so much, I'm here trying to bring you some valuable information, have conversation, bring you some tools. What can we do? What is menopause? What can we do about it to go through it without completely losing our shit? Yes. So menopause is a delicate time. It's no joke. And I don't know if any of you who are here are experiencing that. By the way, thank you so much for being here. Please say hi and let me know. It's always helpful if you let me know that you can see me, you can hear me, and also chime in so I know that I can see your comments and your questions. This is a Q&A, supposedly. So I'm always happy to answer any questions that you have about the topic of the day, and hopefully also bring you some valuable information. So today we're supposed to talk about macros for menopause, the best foods for menopause, and the best lifestyle for menopause. And we're gonna go into that in a minute, and I'm gonna cover all three topics that concern menopause. But first of all, if anybody would be so kind to make a comment and say hello or tell me where you're watching from, just so that I know that you're hearing me loud and clear and the reception is okay, and also that I can receive your comments. So that would be really great. And as you are at it, and I don't know if there are any ladies watching, I know there are some people watching, I have a question for you to start. The question is, do you consider yourself a sensitive person? Do you consider yourself an empath? Are you sensitive to energy? And as a woman, what is the connection with your intuition? So I know that this time might seem really random, and it's actually very connected to menopause, and I'm going to tie it back in a second. Hi Tammy, thanks for watching, and thanks for saying nice. So yes, I can see comments, that's great. So any ladies here with me right now, a question for you if you want to chime in. So how connected are you with your intuition, and do you consider yourself an energy sensitive person, and do you consider yourself empathic or an empath, and to what level? If you want to answer all of that, you can just put it in the comments, and then as we jump into the topic, we are going to circle back to those questions under the umbrella of talking about menopause. Now, I'm sure that some of you are here to talk about macros. You can understand, I've been doing macros, talking macros, living macros for about 6 years now. It's got a little boring for me, but I understand also that there are some of you out there that are new to the ketogenic diet, to the keto paleo lifestyle, and maybe you're just starting to face menopause, and that's why you want to know, I'm transitioning from perimenopause into menopause. What do I do? I've been keto for a while. What do I do? Those are questions that come up a lot. Thank you, Adrienne. Also, I want to expand on my original question. And where are you in your hormonal life? Like, are you in reproductive years, perimenopause, or menopause? And as you tell me what part okay, I can speak English, where you are with your hormones also tell me your relationship with your intuition and if you feel like you're energy sensitive and empathic. There, I got the question. Been thinking about it for a while. I just hadn't really formulated it well into my head, and here it comes. So, perimenopause. Okay, so we'll circle back to that. But let's talk about macros. And I just want to really kind of do this quick and easy because there is a lot of information out there. And, you know, if you have specific questions about that, please do ask them right now. Also post them so that I can get to them. My opinion from my own personal experience on my body plus my clinical practice is that as we go transition from perimenopause into menopause, there is a time that is a very delicate transition time. And this is also the transition time. It's very important foundation for probably the next 10 years of your life. So you might be 47, 48, 49, 50, whichever time you are just about to get into menopause, but you're still having periods. Your periods have gotten more irregular, you're skipping a couple of months, maybe they're heavier, whatever variation of hormones that are telling you that you are about to enter menopause. So this time is a very delicate time. And this is where you're literally building the foundation for the hormonal health of the next 10 years. So macros actually become quite important in this time. Why? Because macros also are the foundation for your blood sugar and your energy pathways. Not just for your weight, not just for how fit you feel or you are or you look, but this is more about energy regulation and metabolism, which is also supportive of your hormonal health. So what would I do? What did I do? What do I do in my clients? Well, first of all, adapting to Keto Paleo. So adaptation period, very important. There is a period where you need to be strict with your ketogenic macros. Go on very low carb. That low carb can be about 20 grams of carbs a day to 30, 40 grams of carbs a day. And here we're talking perimenopause. If you are in perimenopause, I would not keep that adaptation period longer than strictly necessary. So about a month with very strict macros. After a month, I would start carb cycling. And carb cycling either daily or 2-3 times a week or once a week, depending on your individual situation, with good carbs. My favorite carbs are sweet potatoes, starches, good starches, manioc root or yucca is my very favorite personally. Also greens, lots of good veggies. I prefer greens. I prefer cruciferous greens, non-cruciferous. So Lori, I'm gonna get to you in a second, and your comment broke off, so you maybe write me the second part again. So we start with the keto adaptation, but then carb cycling. And once we transition into menopause, we want to be doing that carb cycling because adrenals and thyroid need the most support we can give them and the least amount of stressors that we can give them. And how do we do that? We do that by having a strong, solid, balanced, low blood sugar, not fluctuating, but steady, as flat of a curve as we can of blood sugar before after meals. And we want to do that by having some carbs in our diet actually, and the carbs need to be strategically placed. Probably the best time would be afternoon, evening, so not the first meal of the day. So we talked about that extensively already. We talked about it into the perimenopause videos, which was last month, December. You can find them here on Facebook or YouTube. And yes, Tammy, good question. So do you have to carb cycle when you're postmenopausal? So this is transition time. This is maybe the first year before menopause, year after the transition. Once you've been menopausal for another year and all your hormones is like being strongly supported and are settling down, that is the time where, depending on your lifestyle and your fitness and your need to lose weight, then you can become strict keto again and modulate your carbs depending on your hormonal needs. Because don't forget, if you do everything right, then you're going to set up a strong menopause, no symptoms, no hot flashes, no night sweats, no freaking out, no hormone tanking. You set it up right. So you're not going to need to carb cycle like you did in perimenopause. While if you haven't set up your menopause right and you come from like hormones all over the place, eating whatever, eating too much, eating too little, too many carbs, too little carbs, and not supporting that hormonal balance, you still might need to carb cycle for a couple of years into menopause so that you can support the thyroid and the adrenals. Okay, Lori, I'm going to get to you in just a second. So the answer to Tammy's question is that you might not need to carb cycle anymore in menopause. You can go, and if you need to lose fat in menopause, you might be able to be strict carnivore or strict keto again and be just fine and have absolutely no symptoms. But you need to watch out, because the first symptoms that would happen is you start losing sleep. That's like that, The moment you sleep start getting disrupted, then you know that something is happening and you might have been too low carb for too long. So in that case, then you know what to do. You need to start carb cycling again, even if you're well into menopause. All right, let's see what Lori says. I started carnivore January 1st with intermittent fasting, anywhere from 16 to 20 OMAD, 2 meals. I've gained a horrible amount of weight with menopause. How's that going for you, Lori? I'm sorry, my connection is not super great, but how is that? Oh, so you just started January 1st, so now it's like a week into it. And are you doing keto? Were you doing keto before? What were you eating before? Do you come from a SAD diet, or do you come from paleo list or a ketogenic diet into carnivore? Because you know what? I can't say if this is going to be good for you or send you down a really bad rabbit hole, because I don't know, Lori, what is your hormonal situation and what got you to this place. It's very possible to gain weight in menopause. And another thing is, ladies, that the reason why we might gain weight through this transition to menopause is that your estrogens are tanking and your body is kind of naturally putting on weight so that you can have a mini estrogen factory, which is your fat cells, where you are producing estrogen. So your body is trying to help you not tank and go extremely symptomatic by retaining as much fat as it can so that your estrogen production is a little bit higher. So for those of you who don't know, estrogen after menopause is produced in the adrenal cells and in your fat cells. So it would make sense that your body is trying to have as much fat as possible to produce estrogen when your ovaries are not producing estrogen anymore, and your body needs to keep that estrogen production up. And think about it, a lot of weight is belly weight, where your ovaries are and used to be functioning, making estrogen, and now you got fat instead right there on your belly trying to make estrogen for you. So a lot of people ask me, I did a post about hormones, and I think we should touch on it real quick here, because a lot of women, a lot of practitioners, a lot of people are talking about bioidenticals and using bioidenticals. Now, I come from a school of thought where my mentor, teachers, instructors from, the nutrition school where I learned were against bioidenticals. Now, I gotta say that at this day and age, and the level of stress, and the level of toxins, and the level of estrogen toxicity that we encounter in 2020, right now, in our bodies, in the environment, it's really hard really, really hard to not use bioidentical hormones if you have not set up your hormonal health 10 years ago, at least, minimum, wherever you are. 10 years of detoxing, supporting adrenals, supporting hormones, taking chasteberry to help regulate everything, probably. Maybe starting to use herbal supplements way before perimenopause to address your hormonal concerns. Because if you're jumping in at late in the game where you've been having hormonal dysregulation all your life, and now you're in menopause and expecting to fix the 100% fix the symptoms just with nutrition, it might not be realistic. And it's really sad, and it pains me to say that, because I'm a holistic nutritionist. I work with herbs and food concentrates and natural nutrition. I don't use bioidenticals in my practice, but I understand that there are women who need bioidenticals because their hormone balance is just messed up for a long time. And it's like a really old car. There are parts that you're just gonna have to change the whole engine if you want this car to still go, So that's kind of, for me, using bioidentical is like putting a new engine in your car. It's not the original one. It might work, it might help if you use it right, if it's put in right by a good mechanic, and it's not just gonna melt on you after 500 miles on the freeway. So bioidenticals can also kind of whiplash on you if they're not used right. And if you have any questions, I'm not going to go into this rabbit hole because this was not really a video about bioidentical hormones, but if you want to know more, post a comment and I can talk a little bit more about it and why I think that they could not be the best solution. So we talked about macros, and now let's talk about foods. The good foods for menopause. Well, honestly, same foods for menopause that are good for your body at any age are good in menopause. So clean, organic as much as possible, and unprocessed as much as possible, fresh and nutritious, full of nutrients. This is always the key, is nutrient density for me. Things I would necessarily avoid, I would probably avoid dairy, any milk products like the devil when you're in that transition period. So maybe the last year of perimenopause, first year of menopause, you really don't want to add dairy to the mess of hormones that's happening as all those fluctuations are happening. Hi, Shatsi, my friend is watching. Hi. So you don't want to do that. Dairy adds in hormones that are going to affect your endogenous hormone balance. So I would definitely avoid dairy. And yeah, a piece of cheese here and there is not going to kill you, but we're talking, women who do keto, which is 80% dairy. I definitely don't recommend that. I think that carnivore is more the way to go. I am really, a big friend of the carnivore diet. But also, some of you, Tammy and Lori, you mentioned carnivore. Carnivore has become a fad. I'm sorry to say that, for a person who's been a nutritionist for 7-8 years, I've seen things come and go. Paleo came and go, Whole30 came and went, and some people are still doing it, but it's not the talk of the town. Then keto was the talk of the town, and then suddenly carnivore is the talk of the town. Well, this is not about the fat diet, ladies. Come on, we've done the South Beach diet and we've done Weight Watchers. And, if you approach your way of eating with that kind of mentality and, it's January 1st, I got to do carnivore for a month, that ain't going to work for you. It's just going to be another fad. I'm sorry to be so kind of harsh in saying this, but that's what I see and that's what happens. You need to embrace your way of eating as your lifestyle and make the changes that you make in your health and way of eating as permanent changes, because otherwise you're going to be good and lose weight for a month And then you're going to gain the weight back like a lot of people do. And I hear that every single day and see it every single day. And then it's going to get worse because your body does not like detox retox. You know what I mean? It's clean and then dirty. And then I'm going to eat carnivore for a month. And then as soon as I'm done, a pizza will slip in. Your body really does not like that. It's better if you keep a low steady and you're not perfect, but you have a general foundation of good, healthy foods and don't go, all 100,000% into carnivore when you're going to revert to bad habits because your body really doesn't like it. It makes things worse. It's great to do detoxes. Yes, there is value to elimination diets. But again, we want to do an elimination diet, but then we are reverting back to a wider array of healthy foods, not to the foods that made you sick or fat in the first place. So the last thing is lifestyle. And here I want to circle back. I don't know if any of you that were here at the beginning of this video are still here with me, but we talked about energy sensitive, empath, and your connection to energy sensitivity and how intuitive you feel, how energy sensitive you feel as a woman. And you can still chime in and tell me, and if you want to be part of this conversation, it's great. So one thing that happens in menopause is that we become sensitive to stress. And that's what's talked about everywhere. And that is like the most evident effect of, perimenopause, especially as you finally stop cycling, you're officially in menopause. We become very sensitive to stress. But why are we sensitive to stress as women? Because we become sensitive. And that is not a bad thing. For me, it's actually one of the biggest gifts of a woman's life is that she is now, in entering what I call the age of wisdom. And you finally are wrapping up your reproductive years. Most likely your children will be pretty grown up at this point. Some have already left the home and some are on the way to leaving. So the focus really turns back on you. And the focus becomes also internal. And your body is kind of responding to that. I don't know what's first, the chicken or the egg, right? Is it that your body is making you more sensitive because you finally have the opportunity to do so? Or is it that your hormonal changes are making you more sensitive? We don't know. But this is the best time for us to take advantage of that sensitivity and really changing of the lifestyle, where I feel like everything is very outward, and in the world we live in also we're very outward bound, kind of like our interest is always in external things, the social media, the TV, the news, our friends and all the distractions. But this is a great opportunity as we become more sensitive to our intuition and empathic towards other people, is to really do a deeper form of healing for ourselves as women. I think the world really needs a deep form of healing right now. And I think that as women, we have the opportunity to become the healing that we want in this world. And the way to do this is turning inwards. I know this for some of you might not be as an exciting conversation as the macros were, but I feel like this is very relevant. And seeing the political climate and everything that's going on, especially in America today, we are faced with some pretty dire scenarios. And, how do we take care of ourselves as perimenopausal, menopausal women, sensitive, empathic, energy sensitive women in this crazy world? It starts with the body, but as a holistic practitioner, we need to look at all the different aspects of our health. And the body is just one aspect. And don't forget that when you are a woman, you're also very woven between your emotions and your physical self. So a lot of us can just make ourselves sick when we are not in tune our inner world, and we are like in denial of things, or our emotions are being neglected. So the physical health, yes, the macros, yeah, very important, but this is the other side of the same coin. Are we taking care of our inner landscape, and are we really how do I say, like, are we attuning to what our needs are, our inner deeper needs as perimenopausal and menopausal women, and making that change in the world and becoming that health in the world that we really need right now. I strongly encourage you to take this journey, and as you take care of your hormones and you make better choices, just let this expand to all areas of your life, because this is what's really needed, also for a healthy menopause. And this is going to be, I hope, one of the last videos I do on menopause. So I really wanted to touch on to these other aspects. I'm also about to leave to the jungle of Peru. I'm leaving on Monday. I'm going to be on retreat for a month, where I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to turn inward and take care of my emotional needs and really go deep within myself, because the life that I want to create, like from this point, from this midlife point in this world, as a not just a practitioner but also as a woman, what is the best way that I can help support people through the times that we're going through. And this is why I need to align with myself, so I can be the best version of myself to be able to support myself and everybody else. The name of the game is self-care, and I will continue to tell you this and bring you this free information. There's like my time and energy to help you, to support you, to kind of give back, and to help you support yourself as you do this self-care. Thank you, Adrienne, and thank you for watching. Let me see, Lori had something else to say. Really enjoying carnivore right now. Hope to see some healing and weight loss. I think so too, Lori. Like, a carnivore can do a lot of good. And again, if you have more private questions, or you want to ask me about your hormone, you can always PM me here on Facebook. So send me a private message on my profile or through the Nourished Caveman. And if you have more in-depth questions, you can email me at vivica@thenourishedcaveman.com. As you know, I'm a practitioner, so if you ever are called to work with me, that email also works. And you can look at my blog, thenourishedcaveman.com, and the Healing Foods Method is my program, which I talk about in my blog. It's a very comprehensive one-on-one 4-month program for a life transformation. It's really not just about hormones or a diet, it's all of it. It's the hormones, it's the diet, it's the lifestyle, it's the emotions. We talk about all of it, and it's kind of like, creating a new life for yourself. I know there are a lot of coaches talking about this out there. I have done this for about 4 years now with hundreds of women, and it's been an amazing ride. Anyways, thank you so much for being here. I think we covered it all. If you had any more questions, shoot them now. Otherwise, I will see you here on Facebook Live in about a month. I'm not sure what date, but post-jungle, post-Peru, post-retreat, I will be back with the topic for February, which I don't even remember. What is the topic for February? Anyways, we'll announce it. And oh yeah, subscribe to my email list if you like on my blog, so that you can get these emails and always know when the videos are, the topics. You can ask me questions there. Thank you again so much for being here with me today and watching. And I will see you soon. And take care of yourself.